All right, what's up? So, how long has it been since I've had this car? November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Hey, yeah, we made the 6 month mark. And honestly, in the 6 months I've had this car, it's like there's some things that have like really made me love this vehicle. Not a lot I don't like about it. I really don't know how to direct this video. I don't know whether it's like 5 things I like, 5 things I hate. I, I'm just kind of go by just overall feeling, overall things I've noticed over the past 6 months I've had this car. So, as y'all probably know, looking at some of my other videos, I've taken this thing off road a lot. I've taken this thing to different places. I've taken this thing on long trips. And it just doesn't matter where this car is. It handles whatever task is at hand perfectly fine. And what that really comes down to more than anything, I feel, is the steering feel. Okay? I mean, the steering is just so direct. If you're in normal, intelligent drive mode, it's really smooth. It's not the lightest steering wheel, but I mean, it's heavy and well, no, you can't really say that. You can't really say heavy is always better because I've been in cars where heavy was not always better. It's all about just direct feel, okay? Like wherever you point the steering wheel, the car just goes and it goes without delay. That's what I feel like is the most important aspect of a really good steering car, and it says a lot when because my previous car was the Toyota GR86, a 2023 model, I believe I had. I had just a base model, Michelin Primacy tires or whatever, and I took that thing to Dragon on those tires. And, oh crap, my business bag is going to be making all sorts of chirping noise. Let me flip that thing over. All right, you shouldn't hear it anymore. Anyway, as ridiculous as it sounds, especially since I've discovered the sport mode in this car, as ridiculous as it sounds, the handling on this Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness, this lifted Subaru all-wheel drive with the slightly off-roady style tires, I prefer the steering in this car more than I do the GR. Now, if you put this exact steering rack in whatever magic they got going on with this steering rack in the GR86, the GR86 would be a nearly perfect car, in my opinion. It's just that the GR86 just had some vagueness to it, and you didn't really get the direct feel until you were already, say, maybe like 20 something degrees in the angle, okay? But this car, it just doesn't matter at what point, even in its basic intelligence mode, it's so direct and responsive. I just like the steering better in this car than I do that actual sports car. It's really hard to fathom if you haven't driven both cars. What else? Yeah, like I said, I discovered the sport mode in this car. And the sport mode, all you gotta do is press this little S button right here, and now you're in sport mode. It does tighten up the steering a little bit more, makes it a little bit heavier, but like I said, it's just super direct, super responsive, and I feel like it really makes this car come alive. It fully utilizes that, what is it, 2.4 Boxster or whatever. Maybe I got it wrong by a decimal. But yeah, it really utilizes that Boxster. You can get up and going fairly quickly, I'd say. And I'm not going to say that this thing is faster than the GR86, but I would say the GR had that sensation of torque. The Crosstrek Wilderness, you got to work for that torque that you get in the GR. But it's there. It's just smoother. It's just not as punchy. And look at this handling, dude. On the inside line, not like swerving all over the place. It's just so damn responsive and so well mannered. Like it's not. It's a very confident rack. It's a very confident suspension, even though we're lifted. Okay, like we're with the Wilderness. You are not only lifted with Crosstrek suspension, but the Wilderness has an additional lift on top of that. Okay, and I don't know how they did it. I know they didn't put any blockers on it or anything like that, but however they did it so well. Because, I mean, it's just still so well composed. The only time you even really feel any body roll is if you are braking in a straight line pretty hard. That's the only time you feel like the forward and backwards jut, okay? But as far as in the turns, it feels pretty darn flat for what it is. And like I said, just you as the driver, the suspension, the chassis, everything is just so confident. Now, what is the one aspect of this car I don't really like super? Like, and it's hard to say. I mean, honestly, the only thing I really don't like about the car is the braking. But I mean, that could be solved by maybe some different pads. I don't think you need to go as far as rotors. It's just that when the brakes are cold, it does feel like it takes a while to stop, unless you're like really on the brakes. And there's been some cases where I would be, I got caught by a red light or something, and I got to brake a little bit hard, going from say like 45, 50 to 0, and I would be on the brakes and I'd be like, okay, you can stop now, you can stop, you can slow down faster, and I gotta press it down harder, and you feel like the forward back movement. That's the only aspect of this car that's a little bit wishy-washy about me, but everything else, I mean, I have no complaints really. Visibility is amazing. Like I said, the steering is just unbelievable. I've driven, that's an interesting ride right there. I've driven Audi wagons before, and I just haven't been in an Audi that I enjoy driving. I really just haven't. I mean, they just don't feel good to drive to me. I went in a wagon. It's the first permanent all-wheel drive car I've ever driven, and that kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth for all wagon-style all-wheel drive vehicles, because it was just so vague. It felt like a Ford Fusion. I drove a Ford Fusion when I was in Colorado, and I quickly returned that car back to the rental place because it had no confidence whatsoever. It was all over the place. It felt like driving the Wrangler. I've had 2 Wranglers, okay? I've had Wrangler JK Unlimited Sahara, and that one had the wheels on it and all that stuff. And then later on, after I went back to the Miata and went back to a Wrangler again, hold on, watch this turn. I like this turn. How confident this car is in this turn. We're in Sport Mode 2. And I messed up a little bit there too. And I was able to correct it like it was nothing. I didn't even have to be on the brakes hardly at all there. I just do a little downshift with the CVT and we're all good. I mean, downshift with the CVT, and it just makes a turn. Barely any body roll I felt there. But anyway, yeah, I've had 2 Wranglers, okay? And yeah, the JL just went down the other side of the road. I had the JL, the second Wrangler I had was the JL Unlimited, but it was completely stock. No, absolutely no mods. Now, yeah, like those cars, it has like the ball joint steering or whatever. The Ford Fusion just had absolutely crap steering. And yeah, I'm a real stickler for steering if you can't tell. And like, good suspension, okay? And what I wanted in this car, which is something that was well composed and that I could take literally anywhere I wanted to, because I'm going to get a pet. I'm going to start doing the camping. I did the car camping video we're at Atlanta Racetrack. I went up to Gatlinburg in this car with my dad. I went to Cherry Log in North Georgia, and just a ton of different off-road trails, off-road situations. But I wanted it to be a good daily car as well. And I work from home. I don't commute to Atlanta. If I had to commute to Atlanta, then maybe I would consider something else. I don't know, maybe a sedan Subaru, like one of those WRXs, maybe. Or I really don't know. I really don't know what would fit my needs. Probably just stay with the GR, but GR, you gotta kind of baby that thing. You gotta kind of baby any sports car unless you're trying to build it out to be an off-roader. I don't know. I'm just talking off my head right now. But I like this road too. I slipped my I do sit pretty far back from the for most people's taste, but this is being lazy right there. But yeah, this is a road that I like, and I'm going to easily catch up to this Mercedes because I know this road very well, and they're on their brakes there. I don't need to be on my brakes on this road. And I mean, just check out how well composed this thing is. It's like if I want to be on the inner line, I can get on the inner line, I can stay on it and not have to worry about it at all. It's just so, it just drives so nice for what it is. And I'm looking forward to the day where I can take this thing to an actual, maybe not like a full-on off-road park, but just, I just want to take it off-road more, basically. And making some changes in life or whatever to where stuff like that should be a lot more accessible to me. On the brakes a little bit. If I want to be lighter on the brakes, I can downshift the CVT and let the engine braking do some work too. I'll give y'all a little acceleration here. It's a good straight road to do it. Three, 4 seconds to 45, but that was kind of a rolling start. But yeah, good amount of torque there. And then right here we can just cruise. Yeah, a little bit of traffic keeping us in the limits, we'll say. But maybe they're about to turn somewhere. I don't know. I don't understand people who brake for nothing. But yeah, I'm just kind of just talking about everything that comes to mind. Another thing, this auto vehicle hold, I'll try to use it. I probably won't get the chance to use it in this clip. But the auto vehicle hold, where you press down on the brake, right? And you, like whenever you come to a stop, you press down on the brake. You kind of do it with intention, like press down on the brake pretty hard, and then the vehicle will flash this little A with the circle to tell you that auto vehicle hold is on, and basically your car will act like it's in park, but it's not in park. It's just holding down the brakes for you. I found it to be the most useful. Whenever you're in a drive-through and you're just constantly at a stop or whatever, but yeah, I found it to be most useful there. I'm afraid to use it in traffic because, I mean, that's obviously a way more stressful situation than being in a drive-through. But I like it in drive-through. You'd be surprised how much more relaxed you are having that feature on when you know it's the right time to use it. Like, it literally makes me feel more relaxed. It makes us feel more like a luxury car, I feel. I also find it useful, especially if you're on hills and you're stopped at a red light and you don't have to hold down the brakes super hard. So if you get caught by a red light, of course. If I'm rolling up on a red light, there's already a lot of traffic there or whatever, then I don't really worry about it. But I'll only use the auto vehicle hold whenever I know I'm going to be stopped somewhere for an amount of time. I don't use it if I'm in an uncertain situation, if that makes any sense, because I don't want it to catch me by surprise. And it's really easy to enable. You come up to a stop, you press a button, and then when you know you're about to head back out, foot on the brake, press the button, and you're good to go again. Situations like this where I don't want to be on my brakes, so I'm going down a hill, it does help a lot to do the engine braking there, and I just did it right there. I downshifted twice into, I don't know what gear I was in, but yeah, usually when I'm coming down this specific hill, I'll just downshift once or twice and let engine braking handle it. I'm not on my brakes all the time. It works really well in this car, and it's quick to get back into the automatic mode. And as far as the transmission itself, it's very interesting. It tries to simulate the gears with like the little nudges or whatever. It doesn't. It's not annoying. It's not annoying. It's just there. I don't feel like it needs to simulate the nudge in like a gear shift, but it does, especially when you're in sport mode. And like I said, it's nothing really to complain about too much. It's just there. I feel like this car would be perfectly fine without the nudge, But yeah, like I said, it's not super annoying. It's just there whenever you like accelerate really hard, or if you're using the manual paddle shifters, it will try to simulate that. It's just a thing that they programmed into the car. Would I mind if it was less noticeable or just completely gone? No, I wouldn't mind at all. So anyway, we are pulling up at my favorite coffee spots. One of them in North Georgia. So I'm about to make this turn over here. I hope I covered pretty much everything. This car did have one service. Its first service the other day, just like rotating tires, oil change, all the basic stuff. So that's all it's had so far. I can't really think of doing anything else, of needing to do anything else, honestly. So this place is packed. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. Thank y'all for watching as always. And yeah, more soon.